Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you my basic vanilla cake recipe. So this is the recipe that I follow on all my cakes. The ingredients, the technique of making the cake is what I follow on all my other flavored cakes. So here are my 4 main ingredients. They are all at room temperature and they are all weighing 250 grams. Including my eggs, I weigh them to get 250 grams. Here I have 250 grams of butter at room temperature. My butter is soft to the touch. It's not too hard, it's not too soft either. So have a look at it, it's not too soft. Here I have 250 grams of super fine sugar. And here I have all-purpose flour. So here I'm using 100 ml of buttermilk. You can use buttermilk or normal milk. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. If you're using salted butter, then avoid the salt. Here I have vanilla essence. And to enhance the flavor of vanilla, I'm going to use a little bit of butterscotch essence. So first let's start creaming the butter and sugar together. So to cream the butter and sugar, first we need to cream the butter alone so that it will become softer in texture. Once the butter gets softer, you can add the sugar in. And then we are going to beat these 2 ingredients together until it turns lighter in color. Many recipes say that we need to beat the butter and sugar until the sugar granules dissolves. It will not happen at this stage until we add the eggs. Make sure to scrape the sides of the bowl and beat it well. Now let's add the eggs one at a time. After every addition of the egg, we need to keep mixing it until the egg and the butter and the sugar gets mixed well. So most of you might wonder why we cannot add in all the eggs at once. So butter as a fat will not accept liquid at once. So we need to gradually introduce the liquid so that the butter will accept it and the whole cream will get emulsified. This step is very important in making any types of cakes. Only if your ingredients are incorporated well, you will get an evenly baked cake. So this is how my cream looks. It looks a little curdled right now and I have some sugar granules in it as well, which is perfectly alright. And now I'm going to prepare my flour for the batter. I'm going to add the salt to the flour and my baking powder, and I'm going to sift this over my cream. I'm going to sift the flour in 2 batches. So I'm taking half of the flour and I'm going to sift it over the cream. So sifting is going to give more air to the batter. So every time I add a batch of flour, I'm going to add a little bit of the buttermilk to the batter. Mix this batter with a wooden spoon until we incorporate all the flour and the buttermilk to this batter. Make sure to mix the flour into the batter very well with the rubber spatula. And now we are going to introduce the second batch of flour and milk to this batter. And now I'm adding the remaining buttermilk. I'm not adding all at once. I'm going to first mix in the batter and see whether it requires more milk. Now it's time to emulsify the batter. So this is where I'm going to use my hand blender and mix the batter well. So I find the batter very thick, so I'm going to use all the buttermilk and I'm going to mix it well. Now I know many of you might be knowing that once we add the flour, we do not use the hand blender to mix the flour in because that will form gluten and make the cake more dense. But here we have coated the flour molecules well with the fat. Remember, we mixed it well with the rubber spatula and the fat will prevent the flour from creating gluten. So don't be afraid to use the hand beater for this step. So now it's time to add our flavorings. Here I'll be using 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla essence, and I'm going to use 1/4 teaspoon of butterscotch essence. This is totally optional. I just love the butterscotch flavoring with the vanilla. It tastes way better. So now if you see, my cake batter is ready. So have a closer look. Now my batter is very smooth and light in texture. And if you see, there's no sugar granules, there's no curdling. It's a perfect batter. Now I'm going to show you how I test my cake batter. So you need a glass of water, and we are going to drop a dollop of the batter into the water. And if it floats on top, then your cake batter is perfect for the baking. This shows how light your cake batter is going to be and how light your cake itself is going to be. So let's say that your cake batter sinks in. This shows that the ingredients have not got emulsified well. And always taste your cake batter before you bake it. So here I have two 7-inch pans which I lined with the parchment paper, and I'm going to equally fill the two pans with the cake batter. Let's smooth out the top with a spatula. Now my batter is ready for the baking. Let's bake it on a preheated oven on 180 for 25 to 30 minutes. And here I have only my bottom heat on. Now let's check if our cake is ready. I'm going to insert a toothpick in the center of the cake, and if it comes out clean or if it has a little bit of crumbs on it, then it's perfect. Once the cakes are cool, you can use a blunt knife or a spatula to loosen the sides of the cake so that it will release from the pan easily. So have a look at this super sponge cake. It is so light in texture and it smells absolutely divine. So now you can fill the center of the cake with buttercream or any fruit fillings, and then you cover it with the top tier. But I am going to have it for tea, so I just dust some icing sugar on the top and my cake is ready. So hope you guys enjoyed my vanilla cake tutorial. Till we meet again with yet another interesting recipe.